But Jeff, we have talked before about your clean installs that are a matter of habit for you. But
this is
it got a little different. Like something changed.
Yeah, I got medication. So this is the funny thing is that I haven't done a clean install of my computer since I started since I started medication for bipolar. And what I recognize, and Brett knows this from working with me for years, is that what used to happen to me all the time, and I think this was a result of manic episodes of some sort, which is that I'd be looking at my computer and all of a sudden I'd be like, it's all wrong. It's all messed up. I've configured everything weird. I got to start from scratch. And then I would very abruptly do a clean install, which is not the way to do a clean install. Right. And I would do that clean install maybe in the middle of a work day, not thinking about the fact that the next morning I have a Zoom meeting and I won't have downloaded Zoom and I won't yet have logged into my work email on my Mac so that I can quickly get into Google Drive or whatever the fuck it is people make me do. And it would become this horrible, like obstacle course for me for weeks. And I will have messed up my basic like file system. I will have thrown everything onto an external hard drive called like clean install, MacBook Pro 2013 or whatever. And then I start from scratch without properly moving everything over. And it actually very like in its own way, when they talk about like manic episodes like that, you would have sort of a tendency to take risks, right?
Right.
It really disrupted my work life for probably 2 weeks at a time whenever I would do that. And when I would do it, I'd be like, oh God, it's coming. I know I got to do a clean install. So anyway, I just did the first one in like 2 years, and I'm not going to lie. I'm not sure it was the best and most stable decision, but I did it in a way that was very mindful. I got everything back up and running real quick. So I'm not running into like, oh, I never put this thing back on. Right. Homebrew makes that nice brew files, right? Like I've also developed ways to protect myself
with like a brew file, like where you
so if you use Homebrew, if you don't use Homebrew, Package Manager like helps you, download all kinds of apps and tools, and you can create whatever you've downloaded. For me, over the last 2 years, since the last clean install, or 2.5, is all in one list, and I can just say, please install these things.
It can even do Mac App Store apps.
Yes, if you install MAS.
Yep.
You can even do Mac App Store apps. So anyway, why are we talking about this? Because before we came on, Brett and I were talking, and I said, Brett, I did a clean install. Like I felt like I had to come clean, and no pun intended. And what was cool this time is I realized it'd been so long. So I realized how many apps were just running back there that I'd really forgotten about, that were really impacting my experience of my computer in a way that were really great. And like the example I gave Brett was like the app Peek, which is like an app you can get from the App Store. And it not only allows you to do quick look on a lot of files, you press the space bar and your file comes up, a little preview, but it allows you, it's like there'll be, if it's code, it's got the like proper sort of syntax highlighting, or like you can copy and paste. If it's a spreadsheet, you can do like a column. Like it's incredible.
And if it's Markdown and it has multiple headers, you get a table of contents for viewing your Markdown file, and you can copy paste out of it, which is a big deal since like Mavericks.
Yeah.
Like when they stopped allowing select and copy and paste in quick look.
Yeah. So, okay. That's a question for you. So that there was a point at which quick look suddenly did not, I was like, what is happening? So that was Mavericks.
I think it was around Mavericks. Yeah.
And so having forgotten that it was Peek that was allowing me to do this, because I use quick look all the time in this context, when I did my first quick look and it just showed the icon of the file, I was like, what, how do I get back to the thing? What the hell happened? And so Peek was just a really great example of just something just absolutely like wonderful impacting my life in the background.